Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you from the McLaren Technology Centre here in Woking in Surrey. My name is Simon Lazenby from Sky Sports F1. I'm delighted to be welcoming the world's media, the team's lucky golden ticket winners, the guests at an exclusive event at the Hilton Hotel in Tokyo, and the tens of thousands of you tuning in online for the unveiling of the brand new McLaren-Honda Formula One car, the MCL32. We're at the home of McLaren, one of the most famous names in Grand Prix racing, and a name synonymous with success. Past champions have included Emerson Fittipaldi, James Hunt, Niki Lauda, Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost, Mika Häkkinen, and of course, Lewis Hamilton. It's built some of the greatest and most famous racing cars in Formula One history, and along with Honda, it is looking to recapture the glory they enjoyed together back in the 1980s and 1990s, when they won 44 Grand Prix and shared 8 world titles together. So, following weeks of rumour and speculation, we're just about to find out what McLaren and Honda have in store for us in 2017.
It's time.
Without racing, there is no Honda.
Oh my goodness, this is fantastic! And Ayrton Senna leads!
Some moments when I'm actually driving just detach me completely from anything else.
It was fantastic to be able to the first time for McLaren.
Life is measured in achievement, not in years alone.
Ladies and gentlemen, McLaren Honda's challenger for 2017, the MCL32. I can tell by the amount of phones out that you're all as impressed as I. She is a beast. And I'd like to introduce up onto the stage to tell us a little bit more about it, McLaren's Executive Director, Zak Brown. Zak, after months of speculation, here she is. How satisfied are you with the end product?
It's awesome. First, I'd like to welcome everyone here to McLaren. This is such a special place. It's a very special day for all of us, and certainly me, being my first time at a car launch. But coming back to the car, which is what today is about, I think it's a beautiful piece of art, and I can't wait to see Fernando and Stoffel running around the racetrack.
It must have been one of the first jobs across your desk, wasn't it? Choosing the new livery or helping to choose the new livery. As a self-professed McLaren nut, that must have been quite fun.
It definitely wasn't me. It was a collective group, trust me. And we went through a variety of designs, and ultimately it was in response to fans. We've had so much outreach from the fans saying, we want to have some orange, we want to have some orange. And ultimately, like all the decisions that are being taken in here, we're now run by what we call the EXCOM, Executive Committee, which is Sheikh Mohammed, who's here with us today, and Mansour Ogier, who unfortunately is not. And they set the vision and the direction and have tasked Jonathan and I and the leadership team and Eric with the racing team to get back to winning world championships, and that's what our clear focus is.
Well, it harks to some of the original McLarens of the 1960s and 1968 when Bruce McLaren, Denny Hulme got into it and started winning races. So I'm sure the rationale behind it has something to do with that. But do you feel, though, with the new livery that it's a start of the new era as well?
Yeah, I think it is, and I think it's very exciting. Everyone's, the workforce has all been involved, obviously not only in the physical design of the car, but the livery. We would walk around the factory floor showing people around, what do you think? And so there's a real great sense of engagement. As we say, there's two things the EXCOM ask us most frequently, and that is, how's the car doing and how are our people doing? And so I think there is a real buzz, and with that, some new color, new name of a chassis, some great exciting times ahead.
Absolutely. Just, with the personnel involved and for you personally coming in and trying to bring success back to such a great team, what have the biggest challenges been for you, Zak?
For me, so far, it's been pretty easy because they're welcoming me, and it feels home. My challenge is the same as everyone else's, which is, getting a faster race car on the track to get back to winning. I think Jonathan and I's role is really to make sure we have the right people in the right place with the right resources, and that comes down from the EXCOM, and they've given us everything that we need to get back to our winning ways. And so it's a lot of excitement, and I think Eric and his team have produced a beautiful, fast race car.
Bit of stability as well. We don't want to do a Leicester City here at McLaren, do we? Just a message to the fans, and we know that the golden ticket winners are in here. We've had the sponsors in, and obviously there's a lot of partners in here today. What would be your message to the ever-patient and frustrated, perhaps, McLaren fans?
Yeah, I share it. I'm a McLaren fan. I think everyone in here is a McLaren fan. If you're not, please leave. And we're going to get there. This team's highly frustrated that we're not winning races. We've got a new package, and with those things, it takes a little bit of time. And I think we made, 15 was obviously a very difficult year. 16 wasn't a great year by McLaren standards, but it was forward progress. And I think that's what we need to see in 2017 is that forward progress. And once we get there, we'll be pretty hard to knock back down. And I have no doubt with the driver lineup that we have, Fernando and Stoffel, I wouldn't want a different driver lineup. Those are two of the best guys in the world. So I think we have everything we need, and it's just going to take a little bit of time, and patience isn't something any of us are good at in Formula One.
The perfect segue. You should do this job. Ladies and gentlemen, Zak Brown, but as Zak was mentioning, if you could put your hands together for him. The two men that will be piloting the MCL32 in 2017 are a man who's had to wait patiently in the wings for a couple of years. He had a little taster, Stoffel Vandoorne, and the double world champion, Fernando Alonso. Gentlemen, great to have you in here, and I'm sure all the fans will be delighted to see you here in front of what you're going to be driving. What do you think of this? I know you saw it about an hour ago, but have you had time to have a little sniff around?
Well, fantastic. Obviously, it's the first time we saw it today. Yesterday, I think the last parts were coming in together, so yeah, really excited. Nice to see some McLaren color as well, some orange, and also, obviously, with the new regulations, the car seems spectacular, and I'm looking forward.
What do you think of the shark fin at the back? Is this one of the sexier cars that you think you've driven in your career, Fernando, or you will have driven?
Well, I think they become sexy when they are fast. So let's wait and see. But definitely is probably the most beautiful cars that I drove in the last 16 years with the new regulation, with the big tires. You know, everything looks sexy from the outside. And yeah, from the cars we saw a little bit on internet this week, definitely I pick up this one in terms of you know, the aesthetics and how strong it looks.
Well, we're told it's going to be fast. From everything that we're hearing, one unnamed sim driver said that it's going to be frightening this year. You can see the amount of mechanical grip you got, kind of the amount of downforce you've got. Is it, do you think, going to separate the men from the boys?
Let's wait and see. I think there are some hopes on these regulations that will improve the show and will make the car faster, will make also the driver or the excitement of the driving these cars a little bit bigger. But I think we need to wait and see. Next week we will have some answers in Barcelona, and after a couple of races we will see a little bit more. But definitely, you know, it's a good change for Formula One, something that we needed probably to have a fast cars and good-looking cars. And let's hope for the best, and obviously for McLaren, a good year.
Stoffel, there's only so many coffees a man can have in the paddock, and we've shared a few over the last couple of years. You must be absolutely itching to get into this and have a full season.
Yes, exactly. It's a very exciting time for me to be part of McLaren-Honda as finally a full-time race driver. Yeah, it's now been 4 years since I've been part of McLaren-Honda. First as a young driver, then as a reserve driver, and been to many Grand Prix. But yeah, finally I'm getting a go at it. And yeah, in 2 days it's gonna be the moment to step in. So really exciting and looking forward to it.
You've got a reasonable benchmark in Fernando. Do you think you can take the fight to him?
I'll try. Yeah, definitely. But I think the focus for a team as McLaren-Honda is getting the team back to the front. The last 2 years have been a bit difficult for us, but it's been all about making progress. We've done that over the last 2 years, and I think the focus is to work together as a team, work with the engineers, and really make sure this package gets back to winning. I'm
sure the youngsters like Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, some of the other guys coming in must have given you the confidence to get in and take the fight to some of the older guys. But I'm wondering about the physical challenge here. Now, personally, I find it quite easy to put on 5 or 6 pounds over the course of a season. It's not necessarily muscle, but I know you boys have had to bulk up for this. Tell me about the physical challenge that it's going to provide for you. And do you think it's going to be, as the guy was saying, you know, really difficult early on in the season to get to grips with it?
I think we first have to wait and see how it feels in Barcelona. But from experience in the simulator, it definitely feels it's the faster cars. They're faster than last year, and it will be a challenge again for the drivers, especially during like the hotter races. And yeah, I mean, if we look at the cornering speeds, they're a lot higher than what we had last year. So it will be a step up, but you know, we're prepared for that. We've had a long winter of training, so we can't wait to start now.
And finally, Fernando, to you, how's the motivation? And you know, what are your aspirations and hopes for this season? Do you share with Zak in no promises, just get out there and try to better last year?
Well, I think yeah, definitely it's an important season for us. Has been difficult 2015, a difficult 2016, and I think with this year's project we have high hopes that McLaren will come back to where we belong. So let's wait and see. I think Formula One, there are not exactly mathematics. It's a very complex sport, so we need to don't promise anything to the fans or to ourselves. Just work hard, do a good winter testing with a lot of mileage, because we need to have a lot of information about this package and to have a clear direction for the next couple of months. But you know, if we are here today, it's because we believe we can win. And you know, I think the team has done a fantastic job. Everything starts today for the people, for the fans, for the media. But for the team, it started 7 or 8 months ago, of 24 hours a day. So all that hard work is this result. And if everyone worked 24 hours a day for 8 months, it's because they want to be world champions, as we want as well. So let's wait and see.
Well, you'll know a lot more about it in the coming tests in Barcelona as we lead up to Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's McLaren-Honda drivers, Stoffel Vandoorne and Fernando Alonso. And finally, I'd like to invite onto stage the two of the men responsible for putting this together. Eric Boullier, McLaren's racing director, and Yusuke Hasegawa, the executive chief engineer of the F1 project for Honda. Eric Hasegawa-san, it's great to have you here. If I could start with you, Hasegawa-san, you've talked about a new vision for the power unit for McLaren. What do you mean by that, and how do you think that might manifest itself in the year to come?
We have spending a very busy winter at Honda. The token system was removed, so that meant that we implement every area for the engines, and which were restricted previous years. And actually, there were areas we wanted to change, modified from the original engine, which was 2015, to extract more power. And obviously, the car was changing dramatically, so that we wanted to redesign our engine to fit the car, to behave the car much better. So we modified our engine, much more lower center of gravity and lighter weight. So, however, it means that we need to have a great challenge for the development. So I'm very proud that our team member made a very good job for this season.
Yeah, well, the token system, I know it's the same for everyone, but with that being abandoned and your ability to carry on developing this engine, how much of a help is that going to be from your side in the partnership this year?
Of course, we are not making any promises for this season, but our aim is to get a progress and catch up the front runners so that we keep pushing to make more progress with this season, of course.
The new rules and regulations, Eric, I'll move it on to you. Your design team, have they been itching to get into work in the morning? Is this really reinvigorated, knowing that it's a fresh start?
Yeah, it is, and obviously, as usual in Formula One, winter is always a stressing time. As Fernando said, we didn't start yesterday, obviously, it's a few months ago. Pretty happy with the approach we took, obviously, and everybody worked very hard. I guess the car is elegant. There is a couple of clever solutions, which I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say anything about it. But
don't point in any particular direction.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a beautiful car, and obviously it's going to be even sexier when it's going to be fast, yeah.
And the partnership that you guys working together, how is that changing for this year?
Well, it's going very well. I mean, obviously, after 3 years, we know each other very well. We work very transparently, openly with Honda. It's key, obviously, as a partner. We design a car with them, and they also have some requirements which we need to take into account. So when, obviously, it's public knowledge, they changed the layout of the engine this year. So we had to take this into consideration to make sure in the car, obviously, we fit it perfectly, but also fitting our own needs, because this is the aero, but not only the aero, the chassis and the design, it's all integrated with the engine.
At last, a little bit of stability at McLaren. Just again, a similar question before I get Zak back on stage to you, Eric. From the trackside perspective, and with all the fans in mind, the millions of McLaren fans around the world, what are you saying to them this year? What do you want to see from this season?
Well, obviously, the track will be the proof. Okay, we keep saying we don't make any promises, because that would be wrong to build up the wrong expectation. But I think what we want to do is, like Zak said, I mean, since we started again the new marriage with Honda, we would like obviously to see some progress and keep progressing. And what I can say is we will win again. Okay.
Change your game, as the hashtag goes. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Before we go, if I could just invite Zak Brown back on stage here for one final toast today. And the girls from all of those at McLaren and all those that have turned up, one for me as well, brilliant, today, to the team, to the car, and to the season. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wraps things up from here in the auditorium. We're going to break now for all the various media outlets. They'll be available downstairs, but it goes without saying a big thanks to all of you who have turned up today, to everyone from McLaren, and to the thousands of fans who have no doubt tuned in online. I'm off to enjoy this. You'll be able to see every practice session, every qualifying, every race live on Sky Sports F1 and across Sky Sports News this year. From us all here at the McLaren Technology Centre, thank you and goodbye.